personal protective equipment for the hydraulic shear. So starting at the top, you should always wear safety glasses. And then of course, if you have long hair, you should tie it back, tuck it into your collar if it's extra long. Hearing protection is important. So you could wear the earmuff style, or you can use the foam earplugs. Moving down, a standard shirt is fine. Then on your hands, you should wear some type of glove, not because the shear is going to cause a problem for you, but because the metal that you pick up afterwards might. So I have on cut resistant gloves. You could be wearing welding gloves and that would work fine. As with most machines with moving parts in here, you don't want to have anything dangling when you go to the machine, so tuck your shirt in if it's long. And make sure you don't have any lanyards or anything like that dangling, or sweatshirt strings. Moving down, you should have on long pants and some good heavy shoes when you're handling metal. Leather ones are great, and if you have steel-toed boots, those are even better. This is our hydraulic shear, often called an iron worker. And we use it a lot in our welding class to cut welding coupons that we use to weld on. So let's take a closer look at it. It's got several things that it'll do. Its main purpose is to cut steel, and it does that right down in here. There's a blade right behind that guard. And that's the table that you put it on. Notice there's a guide. It's got measurements on it. If you want to do a square cut, you're going to put your metal up against the guide, and then the cut will be square. Other things that the shear does is it can bend metal. That's called a break right there. And we can punch metal. Different attachments can go in here for different sizes and shapes of holes. It has a punch and a die that match. And you set the metal in there, and the punch comes down, punches a hole in it. When you've cut the metal, it's going to come out the back, right back here. Now this is a really powerful machine. Ours is a 45-ton machine. It works on hydraulics, so you see the cylinder over here. Hydraulics can be very dangerous because it is so powerful. Of course, the basic rule applies. No one should be within 2 feet of this machine when you are operating it. Before you use it, you need to know that there's some maximum capacities, and you can see that printed right here. So we are looking at the maximum flat bar capacities when we're cutting. So if you have 3/8 inch thick metal, the maximum width is 14 inches. 1/2 inch metal, 10 inches, 5/8 inch metal, 6 inches. If you need more information, we would look it up in the manual. In this class, we're not doing punching, but it is a 45-ton capacity, and you have to look at a chart to see if what you're punching fits within that. And we don't have an angle cutter, so instead we have the brake that bends metal, so that doesn't necessarily apply, that doesn't apply to us. Notice we don't cut welds on this machine, and that's because it damages the blade. Start and stop is right there on that box. And this operates by a foot pedal. So you turn on, you push the start button, and then you use the foot pedal to engage the blade. You keep your foot on the pedal until the blade has come all as far down as it needs to do to complete the cut, and then you take your foot off the pedal. So let's watch this machine work. Let's cut some metal. When we're welding, we're generally going to be cutting 1-inch or 2-inch pieces for welding class. So let's just make this a 2-inch piece. I'm using a square and a piece of soapstone. I'm going to slide this in there and line up my line with the blade. There we go. Okay, I can see it right down behind the guard. You'd never put your fingers through there, but I can see it through there. If you want a square cut, you're going to line it up with the guide on the side, and then turn this knob to bring the bar holder down to clamp the metal. The metal needs to be clamped well when the shear begins to cut it. Okay, we're ready to go. So nobody's in the area. It's a hands-off machine. Once I turn it on right here. And I step on the pedal. Turn it off as soon as you're done cutting for safety. Move the bar up by turning the knob in the other direction. Pull that piece of metal out that way, and the piece that you cut is over here.